Hello, kindergarten. It is Mrs. Merritt, and today we're going to do Module 3, Lesson 12. Our objective is I can compare the weight of an object with sets of different objects on a balance scale. So, the past few lessons we have been working with the same objects. We've stuck to cubes. Yesterday we did, remember the clay balls? We did the clay with the clay to make the scale balanced. Today we're going to work with different objects, and I want to see if we notice something, because I wonder if I weigh something with pennies, would it take the same amount of pennies as it would feathers to balance a scale? I don't know. We're going to find out today. So, to warm up our brains, ready? Let's get them going. We are going to do 5 group hands. I want you to tell me how many are on the top, which is our left column, and how many are on the bottom. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 on top, 1 on the bottom. So 5, 1. Job. 5. How many? 1, 2. Nice. 5, 1, 2, 3. 5, 3. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, wait. If this is 5, do you think this is 5? I don't know. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 5. Awesome. So what is this number, though? We're familiar with the term. It is 10, so it is a 10 frame. Great job remembering. Okay, so for today's lesson, I want you to look carefully at my balance. I put a marker on this side. How did I weigh my marker the other day? We used pennies. So today we're going to try that again. Is my marker as heavy as 2 pennies? No. How do we know that? What term would we use? My scale is not what? Balanced. Say balanced with me. Remember, when our scale is balanced, it's straight across and it's even. If something's heavier, it goes down on one side. The object that's heavier goes down. Does anyone remember? Is it going to take more pennies to balance the scale or less? It's going to take more, because if my marker is still low like this, it's showing it's heavier still. So I would need more pennies to balance the scale. As I added pennies, can you do this with me? Pretend your hand is the marker. Put it all the way down. As you add pennies, it would gradually balance. So today we have a few other objects. We have counters, cubes, and beans. I know what I have to do, because look at, we know my scale doesn't balance with just 2 pennies. So I know what I can do. I can add some cubes in there, right? I can't? Why not? Right. The pennies and the cubes don't weigh the same. So that wouldn't be accurate, right? We want this to be accurate. We want that accuracy. And right now, our picture isn't too accurate, because look at, we just saw that our marker is heavier than 2 pennies. And this shows it's balanced. Is that right? No, my marker is not balanced with two pennies. And I can't just put cubes in there, right? Because I can't just put a cube and a counter and a bean in there. Those are all different measurements. So you have to stick to one method of measurement each time. Just one. If you're using cubes to balance your scale, you're sticking with cubes. If you're using beans to balance your scale, you have to stick with beans. If you're using the counters, you got to stick with those counters. You can't mix and match because that affects the accuracy. Okay, so I put some cubes right here. How many cubes did it take to balance my scale? Pause me and count how many cubes it took to balance my scale. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I want you to repeat after me. My marker is as heavy as 6 cubes. So the marker, or my marker, is as heavy as 6 cubes. I came up with that sentence because my scale is balanced. It tells me that it's equal length, so I can say they're the same weight. So my marker is as heavy as 6 cubes. Excuse me, I had a hiccup. Now I'm going to switch my measurement to beans. I want you to think of how you would say your sentence. My marker is as heavy as blank beans. How would I figure out how many beans is equal to my marker and makes it balanced? Well, first, let's look at our picture. Is our scale balanced? Yeah, our scale is balanced. So, my marker is as heavy as blank beans. I can count them. Awesome idea. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what would my sentence sound like? My marker is, go ahead, as heavy as how many beans? 10 beans. Good job. My marker is as heavy as 10 beans. And then we learned also over here, my marker is as heavy as how many cubes again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As 6 cubes. I want you to keep in the back of your head. Each time you measure, you may get a different number because these objects have different weights. That's why we can't mix and match. We can't say, my marker's as heavy as 2 beans, 1 penny, 3 counters, and a cube. That's crazy, right? That sounds really confusing. You want to stick to the same unit of measurement. Okay, so for the last few minutes, we are going to play a quick game, and this is a really, really quick, fast-paced game. We need to find the object that's the heaviest. So we're not balancing our scale. Remember, we're picking that object that weighs the scale down. And I want you to point to it on your screen, and we will select it and see if you are right. Here we go. Which one's the heavier, the cube or the sphere? The sphere, very good. It's down here. Which one's heavier, the cube or the sphere, or the sphere or the cube? The sphere. Good. You guys did such a great job. For today's exit ticket, what you're going to do is you're going to figure out how many units it takes to balance certain objects. So I want you to remember, if they try to trick you, you have to use the same units when you measure. So can we mix all these things to balance our scale? No, we can't. We have to stick to the same unit. So in our heads, let's say that when we measure, we have to stick to the same unit. And we're going to learn about various, so all different types of measurements later on. Okay? You guys did a phenomenal job, and I cannot wait to see what we learn tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.